So guess what happened this morning? It struck me that I could do a lesson on how to express your mind. How could you express what you're thinking and all your thoughts in many ways, not just by saying, I think we should do this. We've got better ways of expressing our mind and our thoughts. And I'm Michelle, and I'm going to help you to express your mind. So let's see the phrases that we have on the board. The first word we have is strike. When something strikes you, it comes onto you, it comes in your mind. But can we use the word strike in a sentence? Yes, we can, but not as it is. We would use the word struck. So something struck, like I said in the beginning of the lesson, that it struck me that I can do a lesson on expressing my mind. This means I had that idea that I could do a lesson on expressing my mind. So you use struck by saying, struck me that, whatever you would like to say. So earlier last week, I have this niece of mine whom I pick up from school every day. And one day I was actually very caught up and I knew that I wouldn't be able to pick her up from school. So I asked my brother Dan, I thought I'd ask him to pick her up. But then it struck me that he is not the best person to get this job done because he's always late and he's not a punctual guy. So then I asked my mother, I told her, please go and pick Shelly up from the school. So then it struck me, means I had the idea that I should not ask Dan to do this. Now let's look at the next phrase that I have, and that is occurred. So we use this phrase as occur to or occurred to. Now this is a phrasal verb because we have a verb and we have a preposition. Right, so you would say that it occurred to me the same way that you say it struck me, which means that you had an idea. So I was throwing this party last Saturday, and it was my birthday party, and I was inviting people. And I was thinking all this while that there's someone I'm missing on. Then suddenly it occurred to me that I could invite Sophie as well. That's my very close friend, but I was just missing on her name because I had so many names to write on the list. So it occurred to me means I suddenly had that idea. To have an idea suddenly. But that's not all with the word occurred. You can also use it negatively. When you cannot think of something or when something does not come into your mind or you miss on an idea, you can say, it did not occur to me. So I could also say, for example, let's say I forgot inviting Sophie. I could say, it didn't occur to me that I could invite Sophie as well. So means I did not think of that idea that I could have invited my friend Sophie. But that's not all. I have a situation for you. So what happened is, I stay with my roommate, and the other day she was not there and I had to leave the home early. So I took the keys and I went. And after a while, I got a call when I was having a coffee, and she called me and she told me, hey, where are the keys? And then I was like, I just didn't remember that I had not kept the keys there. And then she was like, you could have left it under the mat. And I said, it didn't occur to me that I could have left it under the mat. So I was pretty foolish there, but yeah, that's what happened. So I did not have the idea, which means it did not occur to me. So you can use it this way. It didn't occur to me. Right. So something that I need you to be very careful about. When you're talking in the positive sense, you'd say it occurred to me with the ed, right? In the past tense. But when you're saying in the negative, we're already using did. So we would not use the past tense with occur. We would use the present form and we'd say, it didn't occur to me. Rather than saying it didn't occur to me, which is grammatically wrong. But when you use it positively, you'd say, it occurred to me. Now let's look at the third phrase that we have with us, and that is crossing my mind. So when something crosses your mind, that's when you use this phrase. When you have an idea that appears or occurs to you, it has a very similar meaning like strike or occur, but you can definitely use it in a very different way. So it's an idea that when something crosses your mind, okay, you could suddenly think of an idea. You know, you've never thought before, but you think that, okay, now I think I can do this. So it's also a sudden idea that appears to you. A sudden idea that appears. Right. So what happened is, remember I was telling you about my story with my friend Sophie, whom I thought I would invite for the party. But right when it struck to me that I should invite her for the party, it crossed my mind suddenly that she might not want to come, because the last time we spoke, we had an argument. So it crossed my mind that she might not want to come to my party. Now the next one that we have with us is to spring to the mind. So spring is something like this, okay? And it's very unexpected. You don't know when something springs up. It just comes there like suddenly. So you could use this when you listen to a song. As for me, whenever I listen to Bryan Adams, there's only one song that springs up to my mind, and that is Everything I Do It For You. That's my favorite song. So spring to my mind. It sprung to my mind, or it springs to my mind. When you're talking in the present, you'd say it springs to my mind. Right. You can also use this phrase, crossed my mind negatively, just like occurred to. You could also say it didn't cross my mind. Like I would say it didn't occur to me that I could leave the keys under the mat. You could also say it didn't cross my mind that I could leave the keys under the mat. Now the last one that we have is flashes across my mind. So flashes, what do you think you can have a flash of? It's a sudden flash, something that just like there's a flash in front of your eyes and then you cannot see anything else. All you see is just a white light and you can see nothing else. The same way, when a thought or a memory flashes in front of your eyes, you can only think about it and nothing else. So this one is used for more negative experiences. Let's say that an accident. So whenever we think of an accident that we've had in the past, the memories of the accident flash through our mind. So it's usually used for negative experiences. So you could say that the memories of the accident flashed across my mind or flashed through my mind. Both would be correct. Another way of expressing your ideas would be to say that it didn't come to my mind or it came to my mind, but that's a very regular usage. Instead of that, you can use all these options that I've shared with you. Now we're going to quickly revise all the options that we have learned to express your mind. And the first one that we have is that something struck you and you would write it in this form. It struck me that, and it's a sudden idea that you thought of. The next one that we have is something occurred to you. This also means that you had a quick and a sudden idea. It occurred to you to invite so-and-so to your party. The third one that we have is something that crossed your mind, an idea that crossed your mind while you were doing something else. You thought of something else. So let's say that you were reading something and it crossed your mind that you left the tea on the pan. In the pan, it was continuously boiling. So you ran to turn off the heat. The next one that we have is spring to the mind. So an idea that just sprang to your mind and you can use it like I used it for my favorite song, that whenever I think of Bryan Adams, Everything I Do It For You springs to my mind. And you could also use it like for an actor, for your favorite movie, anything like that. The next one that we have is any image that flashes through your mind, any bad memory that you've had or any negative experience that you have had. You could use something that flashes through your memory and makes you forget everything else and you suddenly feel very gloomy about your experience. So I hope this lesson was fun for you, and now you'd be able to express your mind to the people around you, and you'll have no fears because you have so much vocabulary to express your mind. This is Michelle signing off. Thank you so much for staying with me in this lesson. Bye-bye.